is a man-made canal that was dug over 1,000 years ago.
Wow.
You've got the Norfolk reed, the stuff that we cut for thatching, particularly clear on the right-hand side. And you can see this year's reed, well that's green and leafy, isn't it? Obviously it's growing this year, so it's green. And that's just started to flower about 3 days ago. That hasn't fully flowered yet, but you can see the purple colour coming out on the top of the reed plumes. Now they won't cut that until the winter. They'll wait until the frost has killed all the reed leaves. And then they'll wait until the winter wind to rip those leaves off those stems, leaving you just a central round stem with a little fluffy plume on top. You can see some of last year's central stems still with a little bit of fluff on top, some of them anyway. Oh, perfect, just as I go past those big strips. But those are the full height golden stems of last year's reed. Anything that's lower than that is likely to be a couple of years old, and as they get older they break down and they form soil or biomass at a rate of a tonne an acre a year. And that's why you'll see flowers in amongst it. Flowers like the hempergrimini, pinky sort of flower heads just going over, or the giant 9 foot tall marsh sow thistle. So all of these flowers are very important for diversity, so they're good for butterflies, but they are a symptom of the marsh is ageing, and the next thing that happens will be small trees, and then bigger trees, and it forms what we call carr. And that's not a bad thing, it's just a different thing. Marsh harriers won't like the carr, but some other species will. So a little bit of woodland is good, but vast acreages of marshland is essential for survival of all sorts of species. There you can see the hemp again now, and you might notice that the hemp only really extends massively for about 4 yards, 5 yards maybe, and beyond that the marsh is a different colour and a different height, and that's where that was mown sometime in the last 10 years on that side. So far. Oh,
just fine.
Right, yeah. Don't die of shock if we do see another boat. Yeah. I mean, honestly, they all think we're trapped this side of Potter Bridge, and I've worked down that side before. And it's just too busy. It's bedlam.
You can nearly touch that, can't you?
How deep is this water?
This is 5 foot. Heron, straight in front, answer.
Oh yeah, I see him.
Oh. You won't have time, but you might have. Go on, have you seen?
He's just come behind
See how
that
you
tree.
get on. Yeah, to be honest with you, sometimes you're just better using your eyes, but I'll leave them with you. You'll try and find another one, don't worry. Don't worry. That's going to be a long hour. I can feel that. These trees are called sallows, they're a type of willow tree, and then if they're left alone long enough you'll start to get little oaks, and these oaks they grow very slowly out here because they're sort of starved of nutrients, but they will grow and they'll fall over and then new ones will grow, and eventually that will turn into oak woodland if you give it enough
All the acorns up on my
time.
way. See all the acorns? Got the acorns, Graham.
200, they're not thrown away, but if you want, they're as good as ones that are worth £1,000 except for in low light. They're guaranteed for life, they're gas filled, I don't get any money from them, but Opticon, I bought them via the BTO, the British Trust for Mythology. They get a couple of quid out of it, and I think it's around about 200 quid, I don't know, maybe a bit less, but you can get different sizes. Loads of different people make binoculars, but I use those a lot and they are brilliant. Yeah. Well, I always wanted to know what to get from. In the end, I went through my friends in the BTO and they went, well, look, there is better.
Yeah.
There's always better.
Yeah.
But then if they're worth more than 150 or so quid, you aren't going to take them out with you all the time.
Exactly. I don't know. I just want to be sensible about it.
So we're coming into the sedge beds. Things don't look very different. You might see a little bit of sedge flower on the left here. You might see some little gingery bits at some point, just low down. There's a little bit of ginger flower stalk, just here, like, that's a bit of sedge tower. And behind it, you can sort of see the marsh a bit thinner. Just for that little bit there. There's going to see it, every now and again, as we go along here, you're going to see that impression. Because we've got various different ages of sedge bed. It's actually quite handy that the rain and the wind has beat these reeds down a bit, because it means you can actually see into the marsh a bit more. You can see past the hemp and the reed, and you can see the sort of tree clusters of the sedge flowers. Every now and again, you just get a little glimpse in. And also every now and again, you'll see little gaps in the bank made by otter. I'd love to show you an otter. Today is a good day for it, but it's still massively unlikely. They're active in the early morning, late evening.
Right.
But you can see where they've been. And they're very obvious holes. They're nearly always in pairs. So you get an obvious hole like that.
Right.
And you get an obvious hole like the other one on the other side. It's really obvious when you look at them. And smaller holes at the side of your fist or where water bottles go. And I see those about as often. Very rare, really. But it's nice to know they're here.
Is that the end of the sea?
I don't, yeah, it was something there.
I'll give you have them back.
It was a fish or something that jumps, a small fish.
It's lovely, isn't it? It's better this sort of weather than it is if it's roasting hot. A black-headed gull with a completely white head apart from a smudge by its ear. Well, a bit of a neck collar going on. Black-headed gulls, they actually have a very dark brown head, but it does look black, I'll give you that. And then at this time of year, it's fading away. Basically end up with sort of dirt out here. Stub mill again, on the right, go past the sedge beds.
Busy, haven't we, making holes everywhere.
Oh, little wrens just went across the bow. If you saw them, well, even if you didn't see them, they still went across the bow. Little baby wrens, just like a little thimble with wings. And really, the marshes at the minute are filled with little birds. Almost never more of them are going to be in here, but there's nestlings in here at the minute. The thing is instead of them singing about how brilliant they are, you've just got nestlings squeaking for food like that, and you've got parents going back and forth on feeding flights. So earlier on in the season, I could say, oh, there's a sedge warbler, it sounds like this. There's a reed warbler, it does that. But at this time of year, I'm afraid they're all little brown jobs, LBJs, and they're just dashing backwards and forwards, feeding their youngsters. Hopefully their youngsters, I should say. Reed warblers, some of those nests will have cuckoos in them. That's a trouble if you do. There is one other lot of buildings out on these marshes. It's the old SOE site, Special Operations Executive Secret Spy Base. Normally you can't see it, but today, because the water's up and the reeds are down a bit, you might just get a glimpse. I just go point it out because we can. So Secret Spy Base, SOE, just halfway across the marsh between us and the Martham Church Tower, visible now. Those roofs, that's it. Doesn't look like a secret spy base, doesn't even say it on the roof. My golly. But that's the kind of point. And what makes a good place for a secret spy base, it's on an island. You can't get to it without people noticing. That means it's a really good place to have as a nature reserve. And that's now the hub of the National Trust Nature Reserve at Horsey. do still get stolen from nature reserves. We still have basically men, let's be honest, who steal eggs to sell them to other men. I don't think women get involved in this. I'm sorry to be so sexist, but I don't think it is really a man thing. And there were some thefts just from a nearby estate not so long ago. We don't have that problem so much because our island is much more secure, and also there's people on these marshes that odd times